Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one we will finally do the hardware modifications on the 6 Sony Ericsson phones from the last videos. As a quick reminder, I bought 12 old Sony Ericsson phones, restored them, compared them, and now I will be modding the ones of which I had duplicates. For this I bought a bunch of replacement cases in interesting colors. So starting off, we have a color combination reminiscent of one of the Moto Razr W800i's many variants, silver and purple. Since this phone should be partially silver, we can use the D750 as the base, since this has a silver midframe. So first I debated if I should pair the silver midframe with pink or purple, but in the end choose purple because it looked better in my opinion. Let's have a look at the new case. Nice, we're starting strong. There's a key missing on the included keypad membrane. So I used a key from an old keypad I still had from back in the day modding my red W800i. It does not look perfect, but it's good enough. With that sorted, I went on to remove the battery door, followed by the back cover. Nice, the screw holes on the back cover broke and it looks like the midframe has a crack in it. I've never seen a cracked midframe on one of these phones. Now I unscrew the front and pry it off. Ta-da! Wait, what is the scotch tape here? Someone's been in here before. Anyways, let's get the purple case to see which key membrane I will use. The silver D750 one or the white W800 one. I wanted to still have the silver keys, but the upper part of this key membrane was a bit worn. So I ended up cutting both key membranes up to create a silver one with good chrome keys on the top. Sadly, this also got rid of the purple T-Mobile button, which I personally find ugly, but which would have complemented this phone's color scheme better than the Walkman button. Since this phone is based on the D750, it has white LEDs underneath the keys, which won't clash with the color of the phone. Before attaching the new front and buttons, I removed the joystick and cleaned it. Looks like new. Let's reassemble the phone. Before I install the back cover, I removed the Sony Ericsson logo from the old case and transfer it over. Looks great! Now the back case can be clipped in and then screwed into place. After the battery cover is installed, we're done. I think it looks great, the silver matches the metallic purple quite well. The next phone will be peak 2000s. When every piece of electronics was made out of silver plastic. Since the disassembly is the same for every phone, I will from now on only show the highlights. So after the front and back cases are removed, I start by clipping in the front case with the keyboard already installed. Man, don't you just love it if a phone leaves dirt and hair on your table during disassembly? Looks good. Now for the back case. I installed the Sony Ericsson logo again, and now the back case can be clipped into place and screwed in. The fitment on these reproduction cases is not the best, but it still looks great. This is for now my favorite color scheme, and it totally looks like something Sony Ericsson could have produced back in the day. The next phone gets the toothpaste and orange juice look, blue and orange. For this, my first step after disassembly was to desolder the two orange LEDs underneath the chrome buttons to replace them with blue ones. Then the blue case could be installed. This also didn't line up quite perfectly at first, but went in with a bit more pressure. Here you can see the blue and orange LEDs. Looks great in my opinion. Now onto the back case again. This one clipped in better than the last ones. I almost forgot to put the screws for the front in. After screwing the back cover in, I could finally put the battery and battery cover in. Some of these battery covers have sticker residue on them, probably from being glued to the packaging for like 15 years. At the end, I transferred the Sony Ericsson logo back over. I really wasn't sure about this color scheme at first, but it actually looks great. I would have loved to have this phone back in 2005. Another outrageous color combination follows next, the pink and orange W800i, a phone most suitable as a Hello Kitty tie-in product. So let's disassemble another W800i. I start to get really good at that. Maybe I could travel back to 2005 and open a phone repair shop? This was the worst conditioned phone from the phone lot. Now at this point I wanted to install the pink front, but the double-sided tape holding the screen lens in has lost any strength and the lens just fell out. So for some reason I thought about using super glue to glue that back in. I should have also used double-sided tape, since the super glue left marks on the screen and screen lens. After fixing that, I could install the front. Now onto the back. I first added the Sony Ericsson logo as always and then installed the back cover. Okay, it's done. For better or worse, now I own a pink and orange W800i. But the glue residue can sadly still be seen here on the screen. On to the next one. The next phone could be considered a tropical fruit special edition. Bright yellow with orange. Damn, I already love this color. As always, I disassembled the W800i. At this point, I went to desolder the lower 6 orange LEDs here to replace them with yellow ones. Not beautiful, but functional. For this phone, I can reuse the original keypad membrane after cleaning, so I don't have to use the frankly low quality reproduction included with the yellow case. Next, I installed the front. At this point, I realized I had effed up. See this hole here, where the power button should be? Yeah, I forgot to put the button in while reassembling it, since I actually swapped the mid-frame from this phone with the one from the next phone. So after disassembling and reassembling the phone again, I finally had the front on. Now onto the back. This clicks in nicely. Let's screw it in. Put the battery cover in and we're done. I think this looks stunning, to be honest. I love it. The next phone is like the reverse of my W800i from back in the day. That was black with a red mid-frame. This one should be red with a black mid-frame. First, let's look at the case. I love this color. As someone who always loved Apple's product red iPods and later iPhones and had a red HTC One M7, this color looks gorgeous. Since the W800 never came with a black mid-frame, I had to buy a W810 mid-frame and make it work on the W800. Since this was quite the process and I don't want this video to be hours long, I will skip the unimportant parts. So first I had to disassemble the W800 down to the mid-frame. Next I cleaned the W810i mid-frame I had bought second-hand. Now began the tedious process of transferring all the small parts from the W800 to the W810 mid-frame, like the antenna, since they are actually slightly different, the vibration motor, the camera button, since it was in better shape, the speakers, and so on. Then I could put the camera in place and connect its flex cable. After that, the mainboard can be slid in and then pressed down. The mainboard is held in place by plastic clips on the inside of the mid-frame. Then the screen can be plugged in and finally the keypad. What you can see here is that I desoldered the upper two LEDs underneath the chrome buttons to replace them with red ones. Now the keyboard was another challenge. What I absolutely didn't like about my black and red W800 was the white keyboard. I could not understand why no one produced black keyboards for all these colored front and back cases. So for this phone I tried to create a black keyboard. Since the included one was already falling apart, I thought I will just use the chrome buttons from the original keypad membrane and color the number keys of the reproduction black. After numerous attempts with different keypad membranes and spray paint, I finally had something good looking. And yeah, I know this will block any light from coming through and illuminating the lettering on the keys, but I don't have access to a laser engraver right now, so I had to settle for this solution. While painting the keypad, I also painted the orange ring around the camera lens. After installing the black keys in the red frame, I think they look perfect. Now I put in the chrome buttons and reassembled the front. Now onto the back. What we're still missing is the ring around the back of the camera lens. As we have seen previously, I painted the original one black to better match the mid-frame. Now I could finally reassemble the back of the phone. And of course, the back cover didn't fit at first. The fitment of these replacement parts is really unfortunate, since the paint looks stunning. After a bit of squeezing, I could finally put the part on and also add the battery cover. And we're done! I absolutely love this color, the red and black looks stunning and I think it was worth the hassle to change out the mid-frame. The painted ring around the lens and the painted keys also match the black mid-frame nicely and complete the look of this phone. So this is the result. A bunch of W800i case parts and dirt from old phones. And of course, 6 unique phones. Let's have a closer look at them. But first, let's get some peeling action going. Fail. Another one. The screen lens came off. Nice. That was great. Damn. Nice. Now let's have a closer look at the phones and discuss some things that I might have done differently if I tried that project now again. Firstly, I think the purple and silver phone should have a silver ring around the camera. Sadly, only the W700 has this ring in silver, and these phones are kind of rare where I'm from. I paid 35 euros for mine and it was in below average condition. The W800s cost me like $5 each. The other thing I would do differently is the keyboard on the silver phone. I think this could have benefited from a silver keyboard from the D750. But sadly, I only had one of those, and like the W700, they are way more expensive than the W800s. Besides that, I'm really happy with the phone. The blue and orange W800 looks like something that could have actually been built back in 2005. This was also one of the phones where I swapped the LEDs. And I think that turned out very well. This is probably my least favorite color combination. It looks okay, but this would have really benefited from a silver mid-frame instead of the orange one. And also pink LEDs. Now the yellow W800 is a different story. That is one of my favorites. The yellow and orange fit together nicely and the LEDs also look great. And of course the red W800. This has to be my absolute favorite. I love the metallic red mixed with the black mid-frame. The black keyboard also turned out very well. And the red LEDs underneath the chrome buttons fit the color scheme perfectly. All in all, I'd say that this whole ordeal was worth it, and in the end I'm very happy with the results. In the next video, we will take a look at the software modifications I did to all these phones to make them even more special. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video about modifying all these old phones, even if it was a bit long. It took months to make, so I would appreciate a like. Also, consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you next time.